right now, but when you do something like that and then you actually hold them to it and you show that I didn't forget like that you said this to me. First of all, they're like, "Oh, I forgot I said that," like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, "Oh wait, but I really did say, oh, I want to go after this, and now my actions aren't matching my words," and so
Yeah.
he'll appreciate that in the long run.
Yeah. One thing I'll like, damn, I forgot. Part of this story. One thing. Oh yeah, the one thing I told them, like my group this summer was like if someone's holding you accountable, if someone's like telling something to you about something that you did on the court, or you did it wrong, they think you did wrong, or they're trying to like hold you accountable at something, and it pisses you off in the moment, they're probably right. 100% of the time. And so like, but I was like, the reason being is because you're gonna take about 5 minutes to cool down, and you're gonna think about that, and you're like, damn, he was right. I needed to do this or that to be better in this situation. And
Well,
even when a coach says that and it just pisses you off, you're like, you go back, you're like, damn, he was right.
there were so many times at Sheridan when Coach Smiley would be on my butt for something that I needed to be doing, and I would just go back to my dorm and be like punching my pillow or like so upset. And like I look back on those things now and I'm like, he couldn't be more right about that. This dude was right about, kind of like you just said, he was right about everything. And it pisses you off because you do want to be mad at him. You do want to
you want to be right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You don't want to take that accountability initially, but then you sit there and you look at it, you're like, okay, maybe I'm the idiot. But kind of what you were saying with that kid, man, it's interesting to see, because it's easy for every kid to say, I want this, I want to go for it, I want to put in the work. And it's interesting to see how many don't. And again, that's like you already said, that's okay. Like if you don't want to really put the time in and put the effort in to get to whatever level it is, maybe it's varsity, maybe it's the college level, whatever it is, you start to see this kid is really about what he's talking about, and this guy or this group of guys, they're and so I think it's your job as a coach, like you were just talking about, is I'm going to address that I don't see action that matches your words. So I'm going to address it. And you guys can either act upon that or you can keep doing what you're doing. And then, like you said, don't be mad at me or don't be mad at anybody else when we can look back at this conversation and say, did you put the work in? No, you didn't. Don't be mad.
And I'm not going to be mad at you. Like, I'm not.
Exactly. We're not going to hold it against you.
Like, I'm not ever going to be mad at a kid if they say, man, I don't want to put in that much work. Like, it's just not, I don't love it enough. Like, I'll be here, but maybe they like football more and they're more concerned about football. Fine, so be it. Like, just work hard. That's it. In the moment, before the season, work hard for this thing and then go back to doing football and all that stuff or whatever. But like, or if even you don't even want to like pursue it out of college, cool. All right. Well, let's just be as good as we can be now, and then when we're done, we're
done.
They're kids still. I mean, if you're at the college level, it's different. Like, bye, see ya.
Yeah, it's a little more cutthroat.
You're still right now. You're still dealing with kids. So, like, at the end of the day, the conversation's probably not. It's going to be hard for him to listen to, maybe. But I mean, they just understand that, man, he does care. He remembers that, like, maybe it lights a fire under him, because they understand, like, hey, maybe I am working with he does care. Like, I don't know.
Well, I say this a lot about high school kids in particular, but even college kids, not as much with college kids, but with high school kids a lot is you learn really quick who loves the game and who likes the game. And like those kids that love the game, they might not even be the hardest workers or whatever, but you can tell that when it comes down to it, they're willing to put the time in. But then the kids that like the game, they say all the right things. Maybe they work hard and they play hard or whatever it is. But then when you break it down to them, the real work that it's going to take to get to where they want to go, that's when you start to see, oh, maybe I don't like this game as much as I thought I did, or I'm not willing to put in the work like I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. I was like that for a while, for a long time. I'll say that for a majority. Like the only year I really put in a lot of like work was right before my senior year, and it paid off. But that's why I see it a little easier, I guess. I know it. I can call out that a little bit easier because I was that. I did the same things. I had the same attitude and stuff. Now I went to every open gym in the morning. I went to every like anything that they were doing. I was there.
You guys had morning open gyms at old Campbell County?
Sure did. 6 to 7 a.m. You know, sometimes we get done at like 7:30, 7:45, and Bubba would have to write us a tardy slip to class. I'm not kidding you. Like all the time, morning open gyms. But I would just go to that, do all that, but I didn't do like extra stuff until the summer before my senior year, and that's when it paid off. But it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you wait, you're going to be like 10 steps behind and you're not going to have a chance.
Yep. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all summer. I'm the same way, bro. Like, and for me, it was a little different. Like, I definitely love basketball, but living in, you know what it's like being from Wyoming. Like, you play multiple sports, you know? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I loved basketball and I wanted to pursue basketball, but I never put in like the extra work, or I shouldn't say never, until I got to college is when I really like dove into the extra work on my own. Because in high school, a lot of times after basketball season, I wasn't done. I was doing track or I was doing baseball or whatever it was that I was playing. That's why I wasn't putting in the work. And then I realized, like, especially late in my senior year, I was like, I should have been still on top of playing these other sports. I still should have been going to the gym and getting work in, whether it's in the morning like you were talking about, because that set me back a lot once I did get to the college level, because it was like, I'm kind of starting from square one, where a lot of these guys have been putting in extra work for a few summers now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basketball was your favorite. Was basketball your best sport?
No, it wasn't actually. Baseball? I would say basketball was probably, when I was real young, basketball was probably my third best sport. Baseball, I was always best at baseball for sure. But when I was real young, soccer was actually probably my best sport, but I stopped playing that at like 11 years old. But yeah, baseball until I stopped playing it after my 15-year-old summer, I was easily better at baseball than I was at basketball.
I stopped after.
I'm in a baseball family, man. I don't know where I went astray.
12 is 12U the last year for Little League?
Yeah, that's when we did it, and then we went up. I don't know what Gillette does, but we went up to, we called it Junior Bay after.
We called ours Babe Ruth.
Yeah, so probably the same thing. Bro, we played Gillette 2 years in a row in 11 and 12-year-old Little League.
Hey, Laramie was always tough. I remember when they had the state tournament there.
Yeah, man. When I was 11, bro, we had the state tournament in Laramie. Do you know a kid named Josiah Wales?
I played with him.
Josiah Wales. It was a tie game, so we played. He hit a bomb in in I almost call it overtime. In extra innings, he hit a bomb walk-off to win the state championship
Was that
on
in
our home
Gillette?
field.
Oh, no,
No, it
that
was
was in
on our home
Laramie.
field. And then the next year, my
Y'all
12-year-old
beat-
year, we went up to Gillette and beat you guys in Gillette.
Yeah, I remember watching that one. Y'all had some I think some
dudes.
funky. You had some funky wooden bat that was like a weighted bat. I remember for
A
some
wooden
reason.
bat?
Yeah, like you guys had some funky grooved looking thing that was like a weighted deal. But no, hey, going
I'm
back to
trying to
Josiah,
remember. That
he
kid threw
was
gas, bro.
and he hit the piss out of the ball. When we
Hey, I'm gonna stop you real quick. Hold on, real quick, and then you can say your story. The crazy thing about Josiah Wales hitting that walk off, our starter threw 6 innings, through a complete game, 6 innings, struck out Josiah Wales 3 times, and then in Little League, like after you throw a certain amount of pitches, you have to
You're
come
gone.
out the game. So we threw another kid in there, hits a bomb off of him right away. But anyway, go ahead.
He was, what was it? I was like one of my very first Little League practices, and I got picked up by the Rockies, and that's the team he played for.
Yeah.
And it's a day practice, and they were hitting the rubber balls with like the dents in them, like the little dents all over on them.
That would take that hops and stuff.
They're throwing those through the pitching machine, so it like moved in the air weird, and it just moves weird. First practice, very first practice in this, like in the majors, because I just got moved up from the minors. That's how we did it. That's our system.
That's how we did it too.
And Josiah was batting, and they put me at third base. I didn't catch
that hot
ball.
corner. Yeah.
Not one ball, dude. I was so scared. I was backing up into like the short part of the outfield. That's how scared I was. Dude, he was hitting that thing so hard. It was whistling when it was going by. Like I'm looking at like
he was one of those kids at that age, especially like you see it if you watch the Little League World Series on TV.
Oh,
you see that stuff there. A lot is he like there are those kids that are good baseball players, obviously at that age, and if you get to that level, but then there's those kids that they're good baseball players, but they're also way more physically mature than everybody else, and that was Josiah. Like he could hit it, he was strong, he threw straight gas. Like I don't think he had another pitch other than his fastball, man. I don't remember him throwing any off speed.
But no, he did those stupid.
But it was one of those kids, you were in the box like, I'm not
trembling.
Not going to get out of the way, but I'm a little nervous right now.
Your knees are shaking. You're like, oh my God.
You take a few inches off the plate, like more than you usually do.
Do you remember a kid named Robert Markvey? He would have played on that team too.
No, but you know who I do remember is, I think his name was Riley Swanson.
Fuck yeah, Riley's the dude. He played with me too. I love Riley.
So what's funny is he was our host family the next year in Gillette. It was me and 3 other dudes, but I remember the morning of the state championship, like the 3 Laramie kids are eating cereal or whatever in their kitchen, and he comes down, and like we're playing against each other later that day in the state championship game.
Riley was cool because that next year was his like last year in major. Dude, he went off. Like he hit a home run in almost every single game. It was nuts. We had some good kids. It was just baseball wasn't like a thing. Like it wasn't, if you wanted to play basketball, you had to do summer ball, but baseball's in the summer. So you had to pick. If you're really good, like if you were really good at basketball, like a really good athlete, then you could pull it off. But you normally had to kind of pick between
That's interesting
what you wanted to do.
That's interesting you say that, because Gillette was always good at baseball. You know, like it's not a baseball town or per se, but
we have a great coach.
Yeah, they were always good. It was Gillette. It was I remember Green River was fair. Actually, we smacked Green River a lot. It was Gillette. Wheatland was solid. I remember you might have played against the same guys.
How wild is it that Cheyenne is dog shit in Little League, but then
Cheyenne didn't have Little League when I was that age. They did it. They did like pony baseball or something like that.
But then
they weren't ever in there.
Then come Legion, they just mop everyone.
They're like nationally ranked, yeah.
Just mopping folks. But that one kid I was going to tell you about, Robert Markby, that year, I took a pitch from him right in the thigh, and it bruised so bad it left the laces, the seams in the bruise. But we were playing either them. No, we're playing the Yankees. So the Yankees is like the best team. It was always us, the Yankees, and the Marlins that year. And we're playing, and it's like bottom or top of the seventh, like extra innings, and Josiah's up to bat. This dude hit a bomb from like he cleared the fence they measured it by 100 feet. Like that's how far he hit it out. It hit someone's truck. That's where they knew where to measure it, because they found the dent on the truck in like the truck bed or something like that.
That's about how he hit that walk-off home run my 11-year-old year. It was I remember when he hit it, bro. I didn't even turn around to watch it go over the fence. Like I was like, that's gone.
How far is like Legion? Do you know?
Legion is, I mean, typically it's 315 plus.
I want to say he would have flirted with one down the line. That's how far it went. Yeah. It wouldn't have hit dead center, and that's where he hit it, was dead center in the game. Yeah. But no way he would have got that dead center. But dude, I've never seen someone hit the ball so hard, throw the ball so hard.
The other one on that team was, I think his name was Drake Kelly.
How did I know you were going to say that?
He's a big old lefty.
Yeah. Man. And he was a righty for quarterback. He was a QB too.
Yeah, he was the QB. I remember that. But I remember he was the catcher for them, and he also was a lefty hitter. He used to hit bombs too.
His little cousin's Cody.
Yeah.
No, that was, we kind of weird how we had all that baseball talent. There's one guy we had, Ryan Hutchinson, that was really good. Holy smokes. He was way older than me, graduated, I think, in 2010. But I remember watching him play for the Riders. He's really close to the home run record, if not has it still. But
he probably would have played against my brother then. That was my brother's age. Man, getting into some Little League baseball talk. I love that.
Little League World Series going on too.
It is.
By the way.
It is. I see
it's so big now.
It's crazy, bro. I would say it was bigger back in the day.
Right? Well, as in teams. The amount of teams they bring.
Oh yeah.
It's doubled. Like that's nuts to me. Like there was teams from Aruba this year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish I could have played in that. Well, that would have been.
We went to regionals my 12-year-old year, bro, and we learned real quick that we weren't very good in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're playing kids that are from California, Hawaii, that play year round. These kids take it serious.
So we went to San Bernardino. You know, that's probably where Gillette.
Yeah, that's where they hosted, because they hosted both regions.
Yeah, they host Northwest and West region. Yeah. But we went to San Bernardino and we stayed in the barracks, and your barracks is connected to like another state, and we were right next to Nevada. And I remember we were talking to the Nevada kids, just chopping it up one day. You know, we were all in there just outside in the pool, and we were talking about like, yeah, right when we get back from regionals, you know, we're pretty much heading right into football practice. And they were like, you guys play other sports? They were like, you guys go back and you guys play different sports? And we're like, yeah, like we all play like 2 or 3 sports. And they were so shocked at that because they were from Vegas. All of those kids that play in like Phoenix and Las Vegas and wherever else, they don't get to play multiple sports. It's baseball or nothing, or a different sport if you pick a different sport. But they were literally shocked.
Well, that was always the thing. Everyone was always like, "Yeah, Wyoming doesn't put enough." I mean, obviously we have winter. Those kids from Nevada don't have winter, so they can play baseball all the time. You know, we have winter. We can't go outside and have the luxury of playing baseball in December unless you have an indoor hitting deal. And
in Wyoming, your window to play baseball is 4 months, maybe. Maybe 4 months.
It's not a lot of time.
You got a cat back there, you know, rustling around or what?
No, it's upstairs.
Oh, gotcha.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, gold medal game, Steph Curry.
Man, I knew you would want to talk about this. That was I'll just say this, man, I'll let you take over. It was special. That was a special thing.
I think the first one he shot, I was like, okay, come on, that's in. Like, let's go, let's get another stop, you know. Second one he went in, I was like, ooh wee. He made that thing. The third one, when he let that go, I was jumping up and down. Like I already knew it before he even, like right when he caught it, I would pump faked and dribble to the left. I was jumping like, that's going in. And then the last one was nuts. Like people got mad at Greenberg, how he said that was one of the biggest shots in basketball history. Like that's one of the most biggest shots ever.
Yeah.
Memorable. And everyone's like, oh, they're up 6, like the game's over, and da 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 da. I'm like, you know how much balls it takes to shoot over 2 people when you got Kevin Durant and LeBron James wide open next to you.
That's what I was just about to say, bro. Is like the only
LeBron was over here like this.
The only person in the world that is allowed to get away with that shot when Kevin Durant and LeBron James are butt naked over there, just wide open, is Steph Curry. That's the only person in the world that can get away with shooting that shot.
I remember he hit that, and I just took off running through the kitchen. I was like,
me too.
I yelled. I was like, he's not human. He's not human.
When he gets in those modes, he's really not human. Like I think it was our boy Colin Coward was talking about it, of like Steph Curry is one of one in the ability to completely change a game based on his ability to shoot the ball. I think you probably saw that clip where he was talking about like LeBron can emulate anybody else's skills, you know, for the most part. He can shoot it well, he can pass it well, he can, dunk, whatever. Great athletes, top tier athletes like those guys, they can emulate or match somebody else's skill. No one in the world can match what Steph Curry does when he's shooting the ball like that. No one.
I mean, you've probably seen all the clips too about his workouts and stuff, like the workouts he does, and you've seen clips of the workouts he does. Like he does stuff where he'll dribble with his left hand and then shoot form shots with his right, and then switch it, dribble with his right hand, shoot form shots with his left. Like his body is he knows every little thing about his body and what like balance and all that stuff, the equilibrium.
All those weird shots he hits, he practices them. He's not just out there doing it. Like he's gotten to the point in his basketball life where he's not just practice. Obviously, he still practices catch and shoot or drift into the corner or whatever. But he's in the point in his life. He's such a good shooter. He's like, I'm gonna practice shooting shots off one leg, catching off a bad pass, or shots off the dribble when someone is holding my right arm, or like he practices wacky stuff where that's how good he is at shooting the ball.
Yeah, he's The
One
last two
other
games
thing.
he had was nuts. That's all. That was just, it was
Yeah.
speechless. It was speechless. Like Kevin Durant said, he's like, it's Steph Curry. Like, I've seen it before. He's like, that's probably one of the craziest heat checks I've seen, but I've seen a lot.
One other thing, bro. People were talking about, like, I saw some people saying, kind of downplaying what Steph did in that gold medal game, saying we would have won anyway if Steph wouldn't have done that. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I wouldn't be too sure because France was down, was it 3 or 4? 2, anywhere from 2 to 4, I
3.
think. Before Steph hit those 4 threes, they were down 4 or 3 or something like that. And every time Steph hit a 3 when he went on that run, France came back and responded. I don't know if you remember that. Like,
yeah, they did.
They came back. Batum hit one. Was it that DeColo or
DeColo hit Steph with that step back.
Yeah, he was kind of nasty too.
Someone else hit a 3 as well.
DeColo hit one. Was it Evan Fournier? I think he hit one.
Fournier, yeah.
But France was responding, and so take Steph's 4 threes out of that game. Just actually say he hits 2 of those, and then he's not in the game anymore. That might
90.
be a completely different game, bro.
It'd be 90. It would have been 90 to 87 with a minute left.
That's why what Steph did is
incredible.
Yeah, like that's one of the top performances in sports of all time, in my opinion, to close a game. I'm talking about because
he did
that game wasn't as decided as everybody is saying it was.
It was in Paris, France. That place was loud. That place was very loud.
That place was rocking.
But like, if you watch, I think the coolest thing was watching all the in-arena clips from cell phones when he hit that shot, that last one, how loud it got in there from everyone going, "Oh my god!" But like, the second funniest was, did you see the clip of the French broadcast? The French broadcasters, they called the first one, this devil named Curry, and then he hit after the first one, then he hits the second one. He goes, "Oh, how is it?" He's like, "No," and then the third one, the guy goes, "How is this possible? How is this possible?" Because they don't see this every day.
No.
The fourth one, dude, sent them in shambles.
Yeah.
You could tell the lead announcer was just like over it, like enjoying basketball at that point. And the other guy was just like, "It's unbelievably, how is this possible?" It's all in French, but going back to your point though, I think in that game, had Steph not played in that one, maybe they'd win if they didn't have him, because it gives KD and whatnot a little more room to work.
Yeah,
maybe
for sure.
You take out one of those, you take out 2 of the big 3, like I told Armac Insider, then no way. You take Steph out of that Serbia game, no way. They don't win that game.
Bro, there was the semifinal game and the final game and the gold medal game. I was sweating a little bit, like, which it goes back to something we've talked about over and over again, is although I feel like America's always going to have the best or most talented players on the floor, I don't feel, especially against those teams like Serbia, France, maybe Spain, sometimes when they're actually at their peak, I no longer feel like it's like, oh, it's just a matter of time until, we go on a huge run and we put this game away. I don't get that feeling anymore, because you see these teams playing at a pace and playing at a level that it's like, oh no, they can play with America and what they're doing, and they can score offensively and handle the defensive pressure of America at a rate where they could possibly win this game. Again, not saying that we shouldn't win. Like, I still believe with our top players in America, we should absolutely win gold medals. With Serbia and France, I was sitting there like, dude, they're going blow for blow with us right now.
That Serbia game had me sweating.
I was sweating big time, bro.
But back to your point, I have a theory now, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I do not think that the world is as close as a lot of people are saying right now. I don't, because if you think about it, we don't play together in the summertime. Like, we don't do any Team USA activities in the summertime, and if we do, it's not the Olympic team. It's some scrubs like Austin Reeves and those guys, right?
Right.
Whereas these other countries are consistently playing national team games all the time and getting that play together where they can insert Luka or insert Jokic, insert Rudy and Wemby onto their team and be perfectly fine, because they can be back into that style. The reason it's not as close is because the Team USA hasn't done that like they did when Kobe was with it, and it was the Redeem team, because they were playing together a lot. And then Kobe came, they went to the World Cup, won that, and then they went to the Olympics, won that, and then they did all that stuff in the summertime before the 2012 Olympics too. And then after that, it just kind of stopped. It didn't really have any like fruition to it anymore, and no one really played Team USA basketball. And then you started to see those games where 2016 Australia and there was another team there, I can't even think of them, but they were close. They
Spain
flirted with it. Same with 2020, we lost to France in the first game of the Olympics. And then this year we almost lose to Serbia. It's because we don't play enough. I think moving forward, like if you're committed to this, if you're committed to playing on the Olympic team, you have to put in 1 to 2 summers at least of your time in between the Olympics to stay with that flow of Team USA basketball, that style. You can't just take 4 years off and then insert guys together. It's not, it's harder. And I think that's where the lack of like disconnect is from us now to the rest of the world. And that's why it looks closer, when in reality, I don't necessarily think it is as close as it seems.
I think that's a fair point. I'll say this, though. I don't know how feasible that is, especially if you want to get, I think you can do it with maybe one cycle. So like whoever's playing in the 2028 Olympics,
you start prepping them.
Exactly. You get that team ready to go, or the majority of those guys together leading up to the 2020.
And build up to it.
But the big difference between the other countries' abilities to play on their national team and our players is those overseas leagues, those international leagues, they're not playing 82 games in a regular season.
No.
They're playing 40. They're playing 50 max. Like, you think about it, that's 30 to 40 more games than what NBA teams are playing, allowing for that time to, one, get rest maybe after your league is over, but two, get that rest and then also be like, yeah, I feel fine going to play for my national team.
No, yeah.
So that's where I think a difference is for NBA guys is they're getting off an 82-game season. They're like, man, now I got to go play for the national team.
Three of the dudes came out of the finals.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Like, I get that point. And like maybe the next summer you just have a training camp. You just have a team camp. Let's have a team camp. We'll bring in the USA Select team. We'll just keep scrimmaging. Then at the end of it, we'll have a blue and white scrimmage in Vegas for the fans, and we'll broadcast it. Perfect. Maybe the next year you do team camp, and if it's like the World Cup, all right, cool. You prep for the World Cup, go play World Cup. Then that year 3, do the same thing as the year before, just like a soft team camp, blue and white scrimmage. Then you're getting ready. Like, you're just getting that cohesiveness of of them playing together, and like now they're looking forward to the next summer. Like, all right, let's get to it next summer. You know what I mean? Like, that's what to me, that's what I think needs to start being like. It needs to be like, if you want to do this, let's do this, because we have the talent. I'm not saying we couldn't win with maybe Austin Reeves being on the team, but if he played 4 years with everyone and all that stuff in the style of USA, maybe, you could think about it. But like,
I think you still need a couple
you
big
need
dogs
dudes.
on our
You need
team.
dudes for
Like,
sure, 100%.
No, I'm not saying you need the Avengers like we had this year.
Like Book and Ant are playing.
For us to win gold, our best player cannot be Mikal Bridges or no disrespect again to those guys, but like we need big dogs on our team if we're gonna win a gold.
Not 100%.
I want to ask you about this, dude. What do you think about old Steve Kerr not being the coach in 2028?
Dub. Let's go.
Oh man.
He pisses me off more than anything. I don't get it. For example, here's my thing. Steph Curry's the hottest man on the court, right? And he's making every shot. You sub him out for defense, and then they give up a 3.
That was wild.
I looked at my dad and I said, they could have done that with him on the court. And like, to me, that's just such a bad. I would never do that, no matter how, even if he's getting cooked up or not, because he has confidence. He's in flow of the game. He's got flow going.
For me, it was how much time was left.
Yeah.
Why did you take him out? Like, if it's like 17 seconds left in the game and you need a stop, and it's like, look, they're going to attack Curry. Let's put Drew Holiday in. Absolutely. But it was like 2 minutes left in the game. Yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, or a minute 30 seconds left.
Minute 30.
And he's pulling Steph out, and I'm like, bro, I can see you doing that with under 30 seconds left, but not right now.
I was just confused because it's like, what if you miss? What if they miss? What are you going to, like, you going to call timeout? Just insert him back. That was a waste, in my opinion.
Here's my thing with Steve Kerr. I think he is a good coach, and I think he does. Like, you don't win 4 championships without being a good coach. Obviously, he had a good team.
He had a great system.
I think he overcoaches sometimes. I think he overanalyzes some certain situations, or even like, I think he lets his feelings get in the way a little bit, because we already talked about this last episode with Jason Tatum. Like, there's nothing that you can tell me that says Jason Tatum shouldn't be getting 10 to 12 minutes per game. Maybe he's not a rotation guy, but there's nothing that you can tell me, especially in the Serbia and France games, when things aren't going well, maybe you need a guy with a little bit more size, whatever it is.
Like, Kevin Durant needs a break. You can't put Jason Tatum in.
That he's a poor man's Kevin Durant, if you ask me. Like, he's not the 7-foot assassin that Kevin Durant is, but he's 6'9" and he's close enough. Like, give him a shot.
Watch him score 50 in a game 7 before.
Yeah, come on, man.
He has the most points scored in a game 7.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think with Steve Kerr is. I almost feel like he gets petty almost.
Very. My last Steve Kerr rant, and it happened, I've seen it time and time again, is like the Serbia game when he inserts, we're going on our run. We went on our run. The first 5 went on our run in the third quarter, and then he inserts the whole second 5 unit, just a whole 5 and 5 out. A 5 and 5 out thing, and then the league gets back to 11. I'm like, what the are you doing? And even Draymond tweeted, because he took out Steph and LeBron. He goes, Bron and Steph aren't tired. You're down. Like, we are struggling. We have to have our guys in the game. And I truly believe that Bron and Steph subbed themselves back in to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And told them, like, don't you dare. Like, don't you dare.
You aren't taking us out.
If you do, they're coming in for someone else.
Yeah.
But like, That, and then he'll do things where he'll let like the second unit roll. He does this in Golden State a lot. He lets it in the fourth quarter. He'll let the second unit, if they're rolling, he'll let them roll and with till about 2 minutes left in the game, and then he puts in the starters, and it's that stuff makes me so mad. Why?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're going to leave the best player in the franchise's history on the bench for 10 minutes, but now we're going to put him in the last 2? Come on, bro.
Yeah, he has some. He does. Now that you've brought up a lot of grievances with him, I have noticed more things that aren't necessarily like, oh my God, this dude is a terrible coach, but he's
not a
like,
bad coach. He does things
more for like, me. Yeah, it's like just like what was your rationale here? What was your reason?
Because I have League Pass, so I watch almost every single Warriors game, so I see all of it. And yeah, I think it was kind of nice. It was relieving to see the world or the United States go, wow, now we understand you guys over in Golden State. We feel your pain. We get what you're going through.
Oh man. Yeah, dude. But shout out the boys for getting the gold, even though it's quite far removed. We needed to speak about it.
Mm-hmm. That was
especially because Wardelius did what he did.
It's awesome, dude. I was a kid on Christmas those 2 games.
Yeah, I know you were hyped.
He went
I'm sure
17.
Elsa was in the house like, you need to quiet down.
17 of 26 from the 3-point line in the last 2 games. That's insane.
Stupid, man.
And I don't know, man. I think he should have been the MVP, but it's besides the fact. Truthfully, I do, but I don't know. I guess that award that apparently hold on. Apparently that award is decided before the medal rounds.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, which obviously, if that's the case, then yeah, he's not going to.
But I mean, a lot of people. I know he didn't have a great first 2. He didn't have a good start and whatnot. But like when it mattered the most.
Oh yeah.
Where did the ball go?
Does that mean you're the MVP though?
Ball's in your hands.
I don't know.
In crunch time.
I don't know if it does.
Does that mean you're valuable?
I mean, of course. It's Stephen Wardell Curry. Of course he's valuable. But I don't know if having 2 games or moments like he did warrants the MVP, especially when it's how many games do they play? 8?
6.
6? Yeah. When it's a 6-game thing and you have 2 moments, it's like, okay, you did it a third of the time, man. Good job. I will say this though, he did it when it mattered most. I will say that. That's where
because realistically, could you give a damn if he had a good game against South Sudan and Puerto Rico? Probably not.
No.
I mean, no one was really watching those games. He struggled against Brazil, though. Struggled against Brazil, that's for sure, but no. They're drinking beer on a broadcast right now. Drinking Guinness on a football. No, the ESPN football broadcast guys.
Oh, nice.
Drinking a Guinness. Man. Must be nice. He was talking about that earlier. They're like, man, get us some beers up here. And one guy goes, oh man, that sounds so good, but this broadcast would go sideways. No, that's all I got to talk about. That's all I got for today.
Man, that was good. We never actually even welcomed the fine folks into this. We just got going. But
so welcome to episode 47. We're leaving.
And goodbye, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one.